Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our CPDP for the month of July. Um, with the topic is from drawing boards to digital boards, strategic leadership in the digitalization of architectural practice. And our speaker is Dr. Sogo Oyesode. Um, if you don't mind, I want us to wait till about 4:15. Let's see if more people will join in, please. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. Please, I would like you all to um, save your, as you join in, please write your full names so we can use that to determine our attendance. Thank you, please, because the attendance will be based and your attendance certificates will be based on the name shown on the platform. So kindly write your full names. Thank you. Okay, good day, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us once again for our CPDP for the month of July. We're very grateful for your continuous support and always being part of it. This is the, I believe, seventh one for the year, and we do not take your support for granted. Like I had previously introduced, our speaker for the day is Dr. Sogo Oyesode, and he'll be covering the topic. So, hello, can you all hear me, please? Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
please, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. So, our speaker for today is Dr. Sogo Oyesode, PhD, MNIA. Dr. Sogo Oyesode is an architect and project manager with over 17 years of experience delivering commercial, residential, hospitality, healthcare, and retail projects across Nigeria. He has worked with firms including uh, Cubes Consultant Nigeria, Adeni Coca Consultant Limited, ACCL, Paul Farm Walters Odusote PWO Limited, and Everyday Group, with notable delivered projects such as the George Hotel Ikoyi, IEI Headquarters Abuja, purpose-built everyday retail stores across selected states, to mention a few. He holds a PhD in architecture with specialization in optimized BIM deployment by AEC firms. He is currently the project director at Strong Mass Residence and founder of Purpose Lead Africa. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Do I have the floor now?
Yes, please, you do. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. Just a minute for me to share my screen, and then we'll dive into the webinar. So, okay, can you confirm that you can see the screen?
Yes, we can, please.
All right, thank you so much. So the topic before us this evening is from drawing boards to digital boards, strategic leadership in the digitalization of architectural practice. I've had the opportunity to attend a couple of webinars that talks to digitalization concept within the built environment industry. And most times it's been approached from the operational standpoint of view, operational and tactical point of view, where the focus is more on talking about expertise regarding digital tools. But this webinar today will be focusing more on the topic from the strategic point of view in terms of how to enable and ensure that leadership are in alignment with the digital needs and requirements to make architectural practice more sustainable. So this presentation is been divided into 5 sections. The first, digitalization as a business strategy. We're also going to discuss the ecosystem around digitalization, and then we'll talk briefly on the people, culture, and leadership, then data, performance, and decision making. And the fifth, we'll talk briefly on the policy, procurement, and industry leadership issues around digitalization within the architectural practice. So the first is digitalization as a business strategy. And this slide gives us an idea of the 2 different models in which architectural practice is currently stuck in. We're stuck within the past, with which we get our design, delivery process and construction done, which is the traditional model, and also the emerging model, which is being driven by the digital transformation that is currently affecting every facet of life. So within the traditional model, which is our history, where we're coming from, is like we know, is more of a paper-based process, office-centric approach, fragmented communications. We have informations in silos, different teams scattered in different areas. Decision makings are reactive rather than based on data-driven approach. And of course, there are a lot of risks that are attached to all this, which we've all experienced over the years in our various practice. The fact of having to take longer time for projects to be delivered, a lot of coordination errors, issues, especially with the challenges of multidisciplinary nature of the practice. Then information loss, talent attrition, reduced competitiveness. And we have on the other side, the digital first model that brings the advantage of a connected team, the advantage of to be able to collaborate on the cloud-based medium, BIM-enabled delivery process, data-driven decisions, integrated project teams, and the likes. We have benefits of all that, also improve productivity. You're able to manage risks better. Coordination issues gets more reduced. So basically, digitalization is not no more an issue about an IT initiative. We have to begin to look at the concept of digitalization from a strategic business point of view. What strategic value does this term, stands to give us as architectural practice professional? A research by McKinsey, noted that the construction industry is among the least digitized industry globally, and it is also the industry that requires it more because of the multi-faceted disciplinary team approach. Multi teams having to work, together to achieve a unified goal. So it is more needed within the construction industry, but unfortunately, it is also the industry with the least digitized digitized globally. So there are key industry drivers, which is shown here. Of course, that will be discussed much later. Client expectations is on the increase. Global competitiveness is also on the increase. Increase in complexity of the project we embark on. The scale of project that we embark on 10, 15 years ago is changed, drastically from the how complex it is. A simple, duplex designs now, depending on the scale and approach, could offer more complexity than even, multi-floor buildings, depending on the scope and scale. So complexity regarding technology, the more, the clientele that we have are also more experienced, and so they're expecting even more from us as architects. So here we're talking about what are we going to learn. The first, we're going to understand the concept behind digitalization. We will identify the strategic opportunities behind it, the ability to improve collaboration and project delivery. We'll also learn how to bridge generational gaps, because we're talking about generational gaps of the senior professionals and the younger professionals who are more tech savvy, and then the last would now be, how to support digital transformation. Now, this talks about what does digitalization really means. Digitalization is intentional use of technology, people, processes, and data to create better value for our clients. So it's made up of 5 components majorly. Technology, which is the enabler. We have the people who are the driver. The process, which is the system, the governance, the framework structure that helps this to move seamlessly. And we have the data, that's the insights, leadership that gives the direction, and that results in digital transformation. So on the holistic point of view, digital transformation is beyond just a software or a BIM model, that does the work. It is a combination of these 5 factors. And if the 5 factors are not functional enough, then the expected level of digital renewal or transformation that we require will not, be achieved. So digitalization is not just software, it's not computers, it's not digitizing drawings. It is more of a mindset change. It is more of a strategy that helps, that enhance people's, work, enables us to work better, a process transformation journey, a data-driven decision culture, and a pathway to sustainable growth, basically. So that is what digitalization really, points to in a nutshell. So these slides talk about the factors, that are driving digital transformation. We talk about technology innovation, competitive pressure, organizational leadership and strategic vision, and government policy and institutional support. So technological innovation is the most visible driver. The technological innovation cuts across every sector of the industry, and we can see that different sectors are making use of different digital tools, to spread and propagate the gospel of what they do. And as it affects every business, it affects even architecture as well. So rapid advancement in technology, AI, cloud computing, data analytics has changed the approach and methodology with which everybody gets their job done, and the built environment industry is not left out as well. Competitive pressure also represent a significant driver. In terms of increasing globalization, changing customer expectations of our clients are now way higher than what it used to be. Their level of exposure is way higher than than the level of clients we used to have before. And so the level of delivery of service they expect from us is also on another level of digital transformation that they want. So you imagine a client that, that is working in his own private brand or company, making use of different digital tools, connecting with different customers, clients scattered all over the world. By the time you are now offering a service, an architectural service for him, and you're telling him you have to see him before something gets done, he begins to wonder, what kind of laid-back architect or professional am I dealing with? Because in their own sector, they have leveraged on digital tools to ensure that things work seamlessly. So all this affects the way you need for us to also bring about digital initiatives into our processes. Organizational leadership and strategic vision equally influences the success of digital transformation. When there is a commitment from the top management level, and there is appropriate investment that is done, it drives, the passion, within, junior workers and operational executives to get work done better. And also in an environment where there are policies and institutional support, to enable, the upward, adoption of digital tools within our sector. It also helps to drive the adoption of, it also helps to drive digital transformation. So why should we as firm leaders pay attention to the concept of digital transformation? We can see that within the current realities of what we operate in now, like I explained earlier, we now have the challenge of more complex projects, informed clients that we are now dealing with, tighter margins. Clients want more within a short time frame, within the limited budget, and also within an environment that has a whole lot of risk, attributed to it. And remote and hybrid teams. Work is no longer limited by location. Global competition, local firms now compete on a more global stage. So these are current realities where we play in as professionals, and calls for the need for us to begin to explore more smarter ways by which we can get things done, and also to be able to level up with the expectations from us. So why should we as leaders pay attention? We have to stay relevant, improve performance, manage risk, attract and retain talent. What is the cost of ignoring digitalization? We tend to lose opportunities more, lower efficiency, talent drain. Young professionals will tend to gravitate towards industry professionals that encourage digital transformation. Younger professionals, they get bored when things are being done in a redundant way, when there are when there is not the environment to scale their talent, to improve on themselves using their tech skills. They get easily bored, and so we lose talent when the industry does not scale up in terms of digital transformation. Also reduce profitability. Inefficiencies, errors, poor visibility. When you're having to do things over and over again, something you could get done within 5 minutes, you're doing it for for 1 hour. If there is a reduction in profitability, you are spending more and the efficiency is reduced. The outcome is also not what is expected. So the cost of doing nothing, it's into 2 parts. You have the hidden cost and the long-term consequences. I've explained the part of the hidden cost earlier: lost commissions, reduced competitiveness, younger staff frustration. And what is the long-term consequences? We also tend to miss growth for growth opportunities. The profit margins keeps eroding. Clients continue to lose confidence in us because they feel, oh, this professional is no more, up to the standard. That's where a lot of times you see some clients, they have the tendency to want to gravitate, towards professionals abroad to to offer design services for them, because there is this perception that they probably might have built that local professionals do not have the digital skill and the digital skill and savviness, to be able to give them what they want and require. And also higher project risk when you have working within using a setup that has a whole lot of poor coordination issues, it leads to a lot of more cost overruns, unnecessary claims, and issues like that. So doing nothing is not neutral. It only compounds risks, it reduces value, and limits your future. So what are we expected to do is to have a leadership decision that helps to drive this concept of digital transformation across our firm. So the next section talks about the digital ecosystems, where we talk about the people process behind this new digital architecture ecosystem. So we've talked about the traditional approach and a digital approach, siloed teams, disconnected information. Digital approach, you have the connected teams, shared information, real-time collaboration, better decision making. Now, the digital ecosystem works within a holistic integrated project delivery framework where everything you do is hosted, within a BIM model. And you see a BIM model as not just as a picture, but as an image that supplies information that affects every other aspect of the design delivery journey. Basically, what are foundational enablers of the digital ecosystem? A very solid cloud infrastructure, data standards and interoperability, people and skills, change management system. So yeah, BIM beyond 3D models. So when we see 3D models not just as an image, but as a document, as an image that hosts the entire information life cycle of what we do, then it gives us a better understanding and perception of what it is all about, basically. So it is meant to be a model with many benefits that cut across all of the stages of the design, construction, and post-operation phase of the building, from the planning, the concept and design, the detailed design, construction planning, execution, commissioning and handing over, operations and maintenance. You have the information lifecycle of design hosted on that BIM model. And with that, it helps for better information management. So that's what executives should know, that a BIM model helps for better information management, risk reduction in terms you have a better coordination, reduce class detection, reduce errors, rework, and project risk. You are able to control costs better because the whole information lifecycle is hosted on a file that is also shared with other members of the team. The QS picks all his cost information from it. When there are changes, it automatically updates. Every other members of the team sees it. And so it's a collaborative, seamless working environment that enables work to be done seamlessly and effectively, basically. So BIM turns information into insight into action, and action into measurable business value. What business value do executives stand to gain? Improved decision-making, greater efficiency, enhanced client communication. When you are discussing, you are having a project presentation with your client and you have project, dashboards talking about information regarding cost, regarding timelines, quality, your risk and risk management, mitigation processes. You have the BIM model that shows every details information regarding the building. It helps your client to understand, the offerings you are giving him, which leads to more transparency and they build more confidence in what we offer, higher profitability, and of course, better sustainability outcomes. There are various tools that are out there now that cut across different areas, BIM digital design tools, cloud collaboration tools, so but the major thing about this is the goal is not to adopt every tool, but to understand what right tools work within your system. The ease of adaptation of the tool to your current system is the major thing. And so you want to focus on outcomes. You want to start small and smart, and scale smart. You want to invest in people, in the tools that you have chosen, and invest in it and scale it up so that it's able to serve, the need of your firm, basically. You want to integrate the positives that the tools bring with your current system, merge it together, and to use it to revise and build up, a project delivery framework document that functions for your firm. There are a lot of other tools that I imagine. You have the common data environment, CEDE, you have the massive design platform, AR, VR, and all the likes, sustainability and analytics, data-driven decision-making, cybersecurity and data governance, robotics and construction technology. These are emerging digital opportunities that tends to affect the way we work as time goes on. And the earlier we begin to key into all these emerging technology, the better for us as industry professionals. Remote work and the future of practice. Since the inception of COVID-19, something we all thought is not possible has now, become a norm, the concept of remote working. And so people can now comfortably work from anywhere and still collaborate seamlessly with members of the team in other locations. And so to make this to also function effectively, that's also where we as industry leaders need to invest more in the digitalization of our practice, basically, because we have come to the age where you cannot avoid, even when you have your office in somewhere and you have your internal teams, you still have to work with members of other teams, other professional body, members, the engineering team, consultants that are hosted in other locations. And so the challenge comes in how you're able to manage the collaborative workings and efforts across teams to ensure successful outcomes that we require. So the benefits of remote hybrid, we all know that since the emergence of the COVID-19, we were able to see that a lot of cost savings was achieved, operational cost of running office spaces and the likes, the flexibility. And so it was an opportunity which people began to explore and saw very great opportunities in, basically. So the people, culture, and leadership aspect. Why do digital transformation fail? It's majorly you have the technology part, which is really the problem these days, because imagine young professionals have that, an average architect that's graduated from university has relatively, let's say 50-60% idea of about 2 to 3 different software tools that can be used. And so the problem comes majorly in how firm as an entity is able to integrate this need for digital transformation, to integrate it seamlessly into the operational processes of the company. And so where failure comes majorly is people related, especially from the leadership point of view, driving that initiative, that mindset change, investment, and intentionality in ensuring that the processes goes through the laid down, digital, processes. I've seen a lot of industry leaders, firms that find it difficult to adapt these digital tools because they still could not understand how it works. But then I've told people of time that you do not necessarily need to understand how it works. You don't even need to know how to use any tool. The only thing is to have that mindset to to adapt and say, okay, this is how it works. Okay, let's get it done. I give example of people to people regarding developers. We see that in most of the real estate industry, are being championed by non-professionals in the industry. You see bankers have a real estate firm. You see people and you wonder how are they doing it. This is what they do. They don't know what the real estate is, but they engage people, they engage professionals who get the work done for them. And you see a lot of real estate happenings all around there, and you're wondering, but we that are professionals are lacking, in getting these jobs out. So it's the same ideology when it comes to embracing digital transformation within our firms. As senior professionals who, of course, it's very difficult to be going through the process of learning all these tools. You necessarily do not need to learn how these tools work. All you need is to gather people, set the right process, and have a system in place that enables these tools to run, seamlessly, basically. So why do digital transformation fails? Of course, resistance to change, fear of new ways of working. When you're comfortable with existing processes, cultural inertia, leadership disengagement, like I've emphasized, delegating digital strategy entirely to junior staff. When the leadership, the management team do not want to take responsibility for the digital transformation need or digital transformation, they do not want to take responsibility for it, it becomes a problem. Lack of executive sponsorship, and of course, no clear vision. Then lack of incentives as well. When there are no rewards for innovation, no ownership of outcomes, poor motivation adoption. These are reasons why digital transformation could fail. So there is a scoring model that is there. Say technology 10%, the people 20%, people and leadership 70%. So I said a digital transformation succeeds when leaders champion the change, when people embrace it and technology enables it. So we're dealing with two different generations, basically, the senior professionals and the young professionals. And then there are advantages that each comes with. The senior professionals have the experience, the years of experience, the depth, the wisdom and perspective, the network, the strong network that they have built over the years based on past projects that have been executed. They are also able to have a better picture of what is to come, to make sound decisions. And also they are better skilled in negotiation based on their experience having executed similar projects before. And on the other side of the slide, the young professionals, they come with their own advantage as well. Digital fluency, they have the speed, automation mindset, and they are able to adapt. They are open to change. The mind of the young ones is so fast. They are so fast thinking. You can see a young guy is only thinking about how he can get this thing done within the quickest time frame. It's also about the mindset of making money. The senior professionals have the patience, but the younger professionals these days, they are more about outcome. I want to make this money. And so that thinking drives the way they get things done, because they do not want to waste time at all in anything. So these are positives that could be mashed together, to give us what we need in the industry. So rather than each side working in silos, the need is for both half, the senior professional and professionals, to come together and see how to bring about the change that is required. So there is a model here. We have the leadership, the technology, and the collaboration. Basically, that gives us a competitive advantage. So the leadership sets the vision and direction. It builds trust and empowers the team. It drives decision with experience. And the technology is what enables smarter ways of working. It increases efficiency and insight. It drives innovation and scalability. And collaboration, that's where we're able to work, within multidisciplinary teams, have different ideas coming together, encourages open communication, creates stronger solutions together. So what do young professionals need from leaders? What do they need? They need direction, they need mentorship, they need the trust and the empowerment. Direction in terms of having the goal set, the vision set. Let's have a clear expectations and priority. Help them to see the bigger picture. Mentorship in terms of investing time in them to develop their skills and mindset. You also have to build trust in them, give them the confidence, give them the benefit of doubt, dedicate tasks into their hands, see what they come up with, and from there you are able to improve them, and then of course create opportunities and remove roadblocks on the way. What do leaders need from young professionals? Innovation, accountability, continuous learning, and of course digital excellence. So the tech savvy nature, the innovative mindset nature of young professionals is what senior professionals need, to work on, and use that as a leverage, to get what we want, rather than using it against them as, oh, your generation are so lazy, your generations don't want to work, your generations are not, a lot of all this. I've seen a lot of senior professionals, you castigate, you tamper with their confidence, and they are not able to express themselves the way they could have in a situation where you have given them the opportunity, to thrive, basically. So these are things we need to understand as what we can get from younger professionals. And so we now move to this next section: data performance and decision making. So when we're talking about better data, data is the new competitive advantage, and one of the advantages of this data transformation we talk about is the ability to make data-driven decisions. Decisions is no more, based on guesswork, or maybe, oh, I've done similar project, this is how much it costs, so for this project, it should be around this. Now you're making informed decisions based on data, based on informations that you have put together in your design documentation processes, based on data analytics, metrics, and all the likes. So it's a modern decision approach that is supported by data. So when you have to say 2 + 2 is 4, and someone says prove it, you're able to prove it, that you're able to show them using different dashboards, templates. So, oh, this is why this is why this is this. And so when you're telling your client, oh, we have a little issue, there's a cost variation in this due to this, you're able to show different images around, that supports all the, you're not just talking with mouth without anything to show or to prove your point, to the client. So that is where the advantage of data comes in. And so when you're able to collect data, you organize it using digital tools, you analyze it, you understand and you act on it, it gives us, a competitive advantage. In a data-driven world, the best decisions win. Data is not just an asset, it is our advantage as industry professionals. What data should we track as architecture professionals? Of course, your design productivity output. You want to begin to know the level of efficiency of our staffs. You're able to track their output per time, what they do, per week, what is the effect of their output, what's the quality of their output at any point in time. Project delivery timelines, you're able to monitor schedule performance and milestones across various stages of your project and the likes. You're able to also monitor variation rates. You track changes in scope and design, to reduce rework and improve estimation. You are also able to track your profitability. How much money am I making? How much savings are we making? Or even if a project is already going on cost overruns at a stage, okay, at so stage, what percentage of cost overruns are we already dealing with? And that gives you an idea of what cost savings you should be looking at for the subsequent stage of work, so that you can be able to manage the issue. So when you have a data, a dashboard that explains a lot of all these metrics across different stages of project, then you are able to manage the effect of any issue that might come up early enough. You are not waiting till almost the end of project before you realize that, oh, you've spent way more than this, oh, you already overshot the timeline by this, and then client satisfaction is you're able to measure feedback and satisfaction to build stronger client relationship. You're also able to monitor capacity of your staff, basically. So the right data leads to better insights, smarter decisions, and stronger outcomes. So this is just an overview of what we should be looking at as executive dashboard of the future, basically. So you're talking in empirical figures, empirical fact, because a lot of time, this is what most of our clients are concerned with. When you're dealing with a client that is a banker, he doesn't want to see too much stories. He just wants you to go straight to the point. He wants you to give him those empirical facts, the figures. Okay, how much am I saving? How much are we making? What level are we? And they just want to see things happening on a dashboard and, with images just to show. And so that is what drives confidence, of what we do in the face of our client. That's what builds the perception of the quality of the services we render to client, because this is the kind of thing they see when they deal with counterparts, scattered all over the country, all over the nation. And so when we have presentation meetings with clients, update design or construction project update with clients, and you are giving empirical figures, images, pictures that are explaining facts with little stories, they get enthusiastic and want to know more, and even, of course, invest more in the project. Now, talking about the policy, procurement, and industry leadership aspect. So, of course, we all know that there is also the part of what policy plays in ensuring seamless digitalization of our industry, especially when you want to now achieve the outcome on a more global scale, basically. So the Nigerian reality, of course, is that there is still a lot that needs to be done, but which is also an opportunity where, our HACON, NIA might now need to begin to see areas, to be able to lobby in. And fortunately enough, we have a lot of industry leaders, that have served in one, area or the other in terms of government positions, and we can leverage on that in trying to see how we can push in policies that could affect the digitalization of industry, bringing in BI mandates. Traditional procurement systems are still in place. We could look at how to digitize the procurement systems, getting in more professionals, architects to drive that process. The issue of skill shortages as well, limited access of trained professionals, poor interoperability as well. So these are issues that a proper, government intervention could also help, to also help a lot in that aspect. So, but of course, there are measures being taken gradually. We could see a lot of digital transformation initiatives across different public sector, projects coming up. And so that is an encouragement that something can be done, that it is possible if we as professionals also drive our path, as it affects us, as it affects the industry. If we push forward, relevant policies that would help to, further digitize our system, it's just an opportunity that, there could be, an opportunity in that, basically. So there are a lot of smart city initiatives, all around. You see a lot of private developers say, smart city estate, this and that. And of course, we're also beginning to see a lot of private residential with, home automation and all that. So because even the need for sustainability, lead ratings and stuff is also beginning to, inform and drive the incorporation of digital initiatives into the way we work, basically. So what is the call to action for NIA and practice leaders? We need to basically develop firm-wide digital strategies. We need to define a clear roadmap that aligns with firms' goals and the future of the built environment. We need to invest in people more than even software. We need to invest in people, create that mindset, that digital transformation mindset in people. Also create an enabling environment that helps this to function seamlessly within our firms. We also need to incentivize digital innovation in terms of making ways to reward ideas, reward innovation, create safe spaces to innovate and solve real problems. So that gives young professionals the motivation to want to do more, basically. And then also an advocacy for BIM-enabled procurement system. We need to champion procurement models and policies that support BIM adoption and collaboration. Nobody would do this for us, unfortunately. We as architects need to champion this cause, lobby in our way through the various, government stratas, House of Assembly and the likes, see how we can lobby, because that's what a lot of professionals are doing. The engineers are doing perfectly well, good job in all of these lobby issues with the government. And so we need to leverage more with the advantage that we also have a lot of respected leaders in our industry that could help us push a lot of all these ideas, to the powers that be there. We need to build intergenerational collaboration, bridge the experience gap, and bring in fresh perspectives to co-create solutions and to build a stronger, profession. So basically, the time to act is now. There is, of course, there is a visible improvement in, digital adoption drive over the years. It has improved over the years, but the key thing is getting the management, level approval support, the leadership support to further encourage, the digitalization process and processes of how we get things done within our firms. And if there is no leadership support, it will be difficult to get that done. It will now be a situation of a disjointed, working relationship where you have the young professionals working with the digital mindset and the leadership management team that do not necessarily see the value that it is bringing on board. And so when there is the drive for, let's invest in this, let's buy this, let's update this, the leadership management team could not say, what value does this really, why do I need to do this? Why do I need to do that? And that's majorly the essence and the reasoning behind this presentation today. And I hope we have been able to get one or two things from the presentation. Thank you so much. I'll be waiting to answer any questions as it comes.
Thank you very much, sir, for that detailed presentation. Thank you. I would like those, if you have any question, you can drop the questions in the chat box or simply raise up your hand as well, and we can call you up to ask your questions, please. Any questions? Okay, yes, we have a question from Latifa Olajide. Kindly unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and thank you to the presenter. I'm sorry, I've been on and off on the lecture because I'm actually in transit. So I don't know whether you mentioned any specific digital tools that we need to have or be able to use, to really go digital. I know, yes, we have Revit, and then you have some of these rendering tools like maybe Lumion and all that. But I do hear people talk about things like Grasshopper, and I'm wondering, okay, what do they use that for? So I don't know if you can enlighten us more about some of the new digital tools that they're using for better architectural presentation. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you for that. So, like I mentioned, there was a slide where I did an overview of different digital tools as it cuts across different sector. I'll just pull up that slide again and then talk briefly. But like I said, there are a whole lot beyond just Revit, ArchiCAD, and all the like. Yeah, like you mentioned, the Grasshopper, where you are now talking of an automated approach to design modeling, basically. But these are things that when you go online, you can search and get to understand which one works more. But like I said, the motive is not for you to start on the high end. It's for you to understand what you do as a professional currently and which one fits your work model. And gradually from there, you can, scale up. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up where, okay, yeah. So I said that BIM and digital design tools where you have, of course, the Autodesk Revit, the Graphisoft, ArchiCAD, Allplan, and then there are the cloud collaboration platforms, where you have the Autodesk Construction Cloud, the Procore, a whole lot of cloud-based platforms, basically Navisworks and the likes, also data analytics and business intelligence. You're talking of Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, and that's where how it helps you to present data, more. And then the AI and generative design, that's where you're now talking about all the Grasshopper, Autodesk Forma, and the likes. Now, even ChatGPT, now you could create a design using a prompt, you have your prompt ready, and then you get it in. It gives you, what you want. I was in an event where they're talking about Gemini 3D. How you pull up your model using Gemini and the like. So there are a whole lot of them out there now that you cannot even exhaust in a presentation. And it's not something you can say. So it's now, the onus is now on individuals to go out there, get more information on which tool you want to use and how it affects what you do, basically. Of course, there is also the cost implications of which tool you pick, licensing issues, and the like. So you want to work within the budget of what you can afford. And as you scale up, as what the offerings of what your firms do grow, you can now begin to venture into these more complex tools, basically. So that is it. I don't know if that answers your question. So like I said, there are a whole lot of them, and it's just to go out there and get more research, know which ones you want to use. And but like I said, you need to just start small and scale smart. Understand what your needs are, what the needs of your practice is, what can fit within the budget that you work with. I know of a firm that they use ArchiCAD and they only have a license for just one user. So what happens is every other user has the online sales version. But when they want to go online or to have collaborative meeting with other members of the team, they now host the model on the machine that has the license. So, and because of the cost implication, you don't want to get into too many tools at the same time that you're not using. If you once you're able to identify which tool works best for you, which tool works best, which collaborative platform works best for you, you're fine. And then you can start up that way. And as your practice grows, as you get more fantastic projects, you can scale up. And with the intervention of AI and generative design tools now, it's very easier to, even issues of this having to use Grasshopper, you just go online, put in your prompts, it gives you what you want, and then you know how to now edit it, to suit what the design needs are.
Okay, thank you very
much.
much.
Question.
Yes, I believe it does. There's some other questions that in the chat. Some people have been asking for the slides. I believe we can make the slides available for people that attended the meeting, the CPDP rather. Yes, and there's another question here. Ask, can two firms team up to get softwares like Revit, AutoCAD?
Okay. Yes, it's possible, but it depends on the licensing agreement of the software you're using. Basically, collaboration is possible. One or two multiple firms can team up to get a software, but on that you now need to get the one for multiple license. Like I said, that's where it now helps the commercial. That's now a commercial, licensing agreement. Basically. So yes, it's possible, but then it now depends. If you have a single user license, then that means multiple users cannot use it. Then you have the multiple user license. That's when you have 2-3 people team up. Yeah, so it's possible.
Okay, so there's another question here. It said, thank you so much for a very inspiring and informative presentation. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think we are in the use of these digital tools in our industry in Nigeria? And what do you think architects or professionals can do to ensure that we move from where we are to where we are supposed to be digitally? That's from architect Odwakodo.
Okay, so on a scale to 10, I'd probably just say, currently in Nigeria, I'll probably just say 4, I'll say 4/10. And then to say what we need to do to get to where we're going, like I said in my presentation, we need to have young professionals need to have that support from that's executive management backing. It's very critical because of implications or requirements of setting up a digital effective practice. The leadership of firms most times tends to scare away from that initial investment, and that's of course also probably as also a result of the current challenges regarding practice, remunerations, and the likes within the industry. And so that is also where the NIA account comes to play, where if there is the ability to strengthen our pricing model such that we're able to get a unified system where when you charge a client, he knows that if he goes to social architect or social architect, he will not get below this figure as design fees. Then they know that there is nowhere they can run to. But the issue currently is the fact that there are options where these guys can go to. And so when there are options, it leaves little or no room for us to take full ownership of what we do and be able to leverage on it to charge what is appropriate for what we are offering, basically. But on the other hand, so that's one part. When we have a more strengthening pricing framework that enables architects to be able to charge clients, and then it's unified, just like you have for the surveyors, quantity surveyors, land surveyors. They know that if you are doing a plot, 2 plots, 1 hectare, this is the minimum you could go, even if you go to the lowest surveyor ever, because they know there's a fee they have to pay to their agency, there is fee for this, so you cannot get lower than that. So when we're able to enforce the payments of our services that is due to us, then industry leaders are also now able to comfortably invest more in these digital tools to enable seamless delivery of what we do. But on the other hand as well, we also need to be able to, convince, create that confidence in our clients. So when they see the quality of our deliveries, of course, they know that you cannot tell me, oh, when I give you this, you know that this guy has done what any reasonable international architect will give me. So they are more comfortable to pay what we want. But when you are charging way higher, and then the delivery or the quality of what we are offering is not in tandem with the price we are asking them, then there's also a disconnect. So it's a two-way thing, basically. What do we need to do to get to where we need? Of course, there needs to be more investment in the digital drive, and adoption of these tools within our process, within the office setup. There needs to be an alignment in expectations. There needs to be an alignment between the leadership, executive management of firms, and also our staffs, so that when they say, oh, this is what we need, this is what we need, these are the challenges, the leadership is able to see from the perspective of where these young professionals are coming from and see how they can, manage the situation and arrive at a unified solution to ensure that we are able to drive this digital transformation. At the design stage currently, we are doing perfectly well in terms of the usage of digital tools, but translating it into using it to also monitor construction progress, construction execution, that's where the disconnect now starts to come. And so this enforcement of digital tools is not just limited to your design documentations alone. Are you also able to move it into the construction phase to monitor construction progress, to give construction progress update report, to be able to track and make predictions, for what is going to happen in the next 3, 4, 5 months based on the current trend of happenings around the construction industry. And then the post-operation phase as well. When the building is completed, you have a completed as built BIM model that can now be used by the facility managers to now, for the operational phase of the building. And so when there are issues, when there are errors, they can easily refer to the BIM model and say, oh, this is where this is where this DB is, this is where this electrical panel is, and it makes it easier. So 10, 15 years down the line, when the designers of the building are gone, there is a BIM model that any facility manager or professional that is at the operational phase of the building, there is a BIM model you can pick, and then at a goal, understand everything that has to do with the building. So at that phase, we are yet to be there. And that is why the overall rating is 4 over 10, basically.
Okay, thank you very much. We
have
some, yes, I can hear. We have some questions that dropped in. I'll just scan through them quickly so you could respond to them.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
there's a tendency to be quite impressed with the use of prompts to have the outcome of these tools, that the architect can lose sight of the duty of care, and the client may be misled as to this impression. And some, to what extent are these AI tools compliant with the National Building Code, the International Building and Fire Codes, so that the envisaged standard requirements are met?
Okay, I think I understand what this person is trying to say. So that is where the issue, when people say most times that, oh, AI is taking our job, digital tools is taking, that's where it is flawed, because there is a user behind these tools. There's a user controlling these tools. And that is also where the advantage of industry practice comes into play. So even when you have young professionals making use of these tools to generate 3D models, generate design drawings, then you now have the senior professionals who act at the QA/QC hands, vetting these drawings, vetting these designs, and now ensuring that these building codes, these standards, practical experiences that they've gathered over the years are now infused. That's where the concept of bridging the gap now comes into play. We have the strength of tech savviness that the young professionals brings on board, and the vast experience, practical exposure, depth that the senior professionals brings on board. And so there is a merger of these two of these two strengths. And that's where when NIA can say young professionals, when you're done with your master's, go for minimum 2 years tutelage before you write your professional exam. These are the essence, so that you can understand the practical, the practical side of the profession. There is the technology part that helps generative design easier, and there is the practical side that now helps that what you are designing is functional. And if you are designing something and it does not meet, the functional needs, the sustainability requirement of the environment where you're building it, then it is flawed, basically. So the merger of the industry depth, practical experience of the senior professionals, and the tech savviness, open-mindedness, innovative, skilled nature of young professionals comes to play and gives us a better functional, design solutions that can, that can stand the test of time, and also, stand the standards of international best practices.
Thank you, sir. Okay, there's one other question here. It says, I want to ask if there is a system in place to collaborate with government to make all process digital, so there is no setback in synchronized flow of work, e.g. from approval, drawing submission to acquiring permits without a face-to-face interface.
So I think I'm aware that Lagos State government is currently digitizing the planning approval processes. I know that planning approval before now used to take in excess of 6, 7, 8 months, but in the past 1 or 2 years, the current administration has tried to see how to digitize the whole process. And so, yes, there has been a lot of improvement in the digitization of the planning approval processes of Lagos State government. However, there are rooms for improvement, and that's where our colleagues in the public sector also now comes to play, because they are the one within the sector, and they can begin, continue to push, for these policies to even, get these activities even more seamless. Basically, one thing that we have not gotten properly right is the collaboration between industry bodies, ACON, NIA, and the planning approval Lagos State government, such that when design drawings goes in for approval, it is only the drawings that is coming from registered architects that is, recognized and approved. But we still see that there is still a gap in that, because this issue of ACON stamp and the likes, it has not yet really been, accurately fused into the planning approval process systems to ensure that design drawings from registered architects are only ones that sees through the planning approval phase. So there are rooms for improvement in that. And that's, of course, a call to our colleagues in the public sector to continue to see ways and means, where a lot of all these changes and updates can be made. Also, increased collaboration between NIA, ACON, and a planning approval units in Lagos State and across other states as well. It's even better in Lagos. Abuja, they are also coming up, but a lot still needs to be done in other states of the country. I don't know if I answered that question.
Yes, you did, Architecture Go. I don't know I think the General Secretary is
Oh, sorry, can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, she's back.
Yes. Okay, sorry. Yeah, there's one last question that came in. What soft tool you used for your presentation? I believe that's Microsoft PowerPoint. Then the last question we have here is, with digitalization, how do we manage copyright and protect intellectual property?
Okay, yeah. How do we manage copyright? So copyright is necessarily not a barrier to digitalization, but it's a concept of governance system, basically. But so I think when we produce design drawings, irrespective of what tools you use, there is that maybe, when you're dealing with clients, there is an agreement signed where you probably would have stated, to the client that the drawing is only meant to be used for the purpose, that it is meant for. And if for any reason there will be need to replicate it in any other location, then the consent of the architect has to be sought, because now you're using the drawings for another thing, entirely different. So irrespective of what tool you are using to get whatever thing done, the issue is how you protect the output, basically. How you protect your brand, the processes you go through, the agreement, contract document you signed with your client is what protects your, it's what protects the intellectual property of that document or that deliverable, basically. So it's not necessarily a function of what tool you use or what tool you don't use, because at the end of the day, you are providing a solution that is streamlined to the needs of the client based on the specifics of the location, which of course differs from areas to areas, based on the specifics of the client needs, which differs from clients to clients, and also based on the specifics of the standards and requirements that are guiding the kind of design that you are offering for your client. So it is the contract that protects the intellectual property, basically. So if you think what you have designed is a whole lot that you need to protect, if you need to go an extra mile in signing a non-disclosure document with your staffs or whatever whatever you do in this company, you do not have the right to duplicate or carry it over to any other place. So these are things that people do at the recruitment stage with of staffs, basically, especially senior management staffs. You sign an NDA disclosure, an NDA document with agreement with your staffs, with your clients. Also, intellectual property right with your clients, stating that they do not have the right to use the design offering for any other purpose. They have paid for it, and it's only meant for that purpose with which you have designed it for. Yeah, so it's not an issue of the digitalization or what you do. It is about your processes, your internal governance structure, how you structure your processes to protect your rights through your contracts, modalities, and agreements.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think we'll have the chairman, Architect Abiodun Fatiyu, to come up, please.
Thank you, Ada. I want to especially thank everybody on this call, because if you're not here, what's the point of having the call in the first place? I also want to especially thank our very eloquent speaker, Architect Shogo Oyesode. Thank you for agreeing to take this at a very short notice. Indeed, the whole world is digitalized, and we are running back. We are running behind, and we have not even caught up, talk less of try to advance or overtake. Digital tools has transformed the whole architectural process. You cannot have anything efficient, accurate, or you can't even collaborate, without having knowledge of these digital tools. Reasons why we are also trying to move the chapter and its documentation into a digitalized system, where you can just go online and find out all you need to find out about the chapter and yourself and your activities, and people can come into the chapter's websites and find out who are members, of this chapter, which also helps in verifying our membership, in the chapter. Now, where am I going? This also now intertwines, with what the Lagos State government is doing as per approvals and the EPPS applications. That on its own is still having a lot of teething problems. This is why we have not brought in an expert to speak to us, but we're going to do that surely before the end of the year. We are in constant conversations with them to see how to also improve that interface with our APIP program. It's work in progress, and I'm hoping that by the chapter's AGM, we can give you a more robust picture of how far we have gone. Not to take our time, I just want to encourage everyone to please continue to support the chapter. Let us do this again next month. Let us continue to share knowledge within ourselves. And special thanks again to the speaker. He's doing this fully pro bono without us paying anything. And we are all going with so much knowledge. And I just want to thank you, and hope that very soon we'll all see the benefits of being part of this chapter. It is very critical, honestly, to start to look at digital solutions. Very, very critical. If you want to remain competitive, if you want to be able to collaborate with other people, if you want to do high quality projects, if you want to do anything, as far as architecture is concerned, you have to look at the integration of digital tools. And I think Architect Shogo has done justice to this and highlighted the very important parts of sustenance in this profession. Thank you, everybody. We look forward to seeing you at the chapter meeting at the end of the month, and again at our next CPDP after that. Thank you.
Thank you also.
And you have a lovely evening.
Yeah. Good evening. Good night. Bye.
Thank you. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye.